Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, Danielle Psychic. Today I'm going to do a cooking video and we're going to make my own pasta sauce. It's a red sauce that I make. So this sauce is really good for people who are into healthy eating, weight loss. Look, there's no preservatives in this sauce. There's no sugar. I don't actually add sugar. So I use some of the sweetness in some of the produce that I put in the sauce to bring out that natural sweetness, and a lot of fresh herbs in it as well. It does taste just as good, if not better, as what you'd buy in a supermarket in those bottled pasta sauces. So my aim was to try and get it to taste better, if not the same as that, and this is what I've done with this sauce. And it's very easy. I cook it in a slow cooker because a lot of the times when you do cook on the saucepan and you're simmering these sauces to develop the flavors, it will burn on the bottom depending on what you do. If you have a slow cooker, it just doesn't stick to it, and you can say do it in the morning before you go to work, or before you start your day, and then come back, and at night you've got a really nice sauce that you can make a simple pasta dish with. I also use this sauce for pizzas, make it as my pizza base. You can also use it as a salsa. You can you can make it like a parmigiana with it. It's a very versatile sauce. And so this is one that I've made up myself. So this is my very own recipe that I've made. And it's really, really good. So for those of you who are perhaps trying to lose weight, and a lot of those sauces you're buying in Woolworths and Coles, they actually have a lot of sugar, a lot of preservatives in them. They're actually not that healthy for you, contrary to what you think. I mean, it is a better alternative than white sauce, but when you can get a sauce that's full of, goodness, and it's not all these preservatives, it is going to be better. But let's get started. So basically, what you need to know is, because should be a quick video in the steps that I make it. We're going to roast some capsicums. Now, as I said, I don't add sugar. So what I'm doing is I like to use produce that bring out its natural sweetness. So for instance, like capsicums, I do try and get the small capsicums. They have more of a sweetness to them, especially when you're roasting them. So I'm going to roast these in the oven to get the skin off, because it's actually not that great taste when the last thing you want is pasta sauce and you've got the skin. It doesn't taste that great in the sauce because it gets mushy. Okay, if you do have normal capsicums, it will be fine. Or if you want to eat both, that's good. But because we're wanting to develop the sweetness out of these natural vegetables, I do try and go for the small ones if you can find them. So I also have these. I really find these are really good. They're from Woolworths. They're sweet berry tomatoes, Tuscans. I do use these. These are really good small tomatoes, and they're sweet. They have a natural sweetness in them. And again, I'm roasting these too to get the skin off them and to develop the sweetness in them. I'm also going to roast some chilies because I like a bit of kick in my sauce. So this is optional. You don't have to have these, but I like a bit of hotness, and it's good for metabolism too. Chili's good. So because I don't use the seeds, so I actually cut out the seeds, and then I'm just going to roast again to develop the sweetness in the flavor in the chilies, but to remove the skin, because again, I find with these sort of vegetables, when you have them in a sauce like this and you have simmered it for a long time, the skin does not become that great tasting. That's the first thing we'll do, and then we'll go from there. Another tip I have for this video is that I do use tomato puree. So I would normally use around 4 tins of the Legos tomato puree that I would usually buy. On this occasion, I'm going to use up some bottles that I had prior. I got from Italian Deli, which is again a tomato puree as well. And this is something good because I make it in batches. So I actually will make a big batch of this sauce. So the quantities that I'm actually using for this, you'll find it's a lot. But then I bottle them up and I freeze it, and it keeps for a long time. So, if you want to make a lasagna, if you want to do a pasta dish, you've got the sauce already made in the freezer. If something, fingers crossed, happens again where we're going to lockdown and there is a shortage of these pasta sauces and things, you've already got your own stock. And, when it comes up, you just go out, buy your veggies, buy your tomato puree, make it up. You don't even need to bother with those other pasta sauces, and yours is going to taste much better than them anyway. So let's get started. by roasting these veggies to get the skin off them. I'll show you once they're roasted what they look like and how to get the skin off. It's very, very easy. So, we're back. Okay, so I've got all the ingredients and ready to show you what to do with this. So, this is my slow cooker. This is what I use to make the sauce. So I'm going to turn this on now. I'm going to turn it into a high heat for now, and then I will put it on a slower heat for it to cook. And like I say, this is very easy. It's simply you just putting it in. I'm just going to put a bit of olive oil in here to start off. Sometimes if I want to start to release some of the flavours, I will fry off some of the onion and garlic. But today I'm just going to put everything into the slow cooker. So we're going to put some onions. So I actually have mixture of brown and the red onion as well today. But you can just do whatever you have. That's what I had at home. So that's what I've put in here. I have got around 5 cloves of garlic. I really like garlic, and not only that, don't forget I'm making a whole big batch. So I'm actually going to jar this to save it for later. I've got also about 3 carrots, and I've got about 4 or 5 stems of celery. I'm just going to put in this as well. Okay. I'm then going to put in some chili. So as I said, I've put all the skin off the chili. You roast it basically with the flesh down, skin up. You put it in the oven for about 200 degrees. And when the skin starts getting like wrinkly and it might go a bit black, that's when you can take it out. It will just peel off and you just cut up. So I've got a few chilies in it, but I have no seeds because I don't like having the seeds in my dishes. If you do, then all means. Now I'm going to add the tomato puree in here as well. So just add the tomato puree. So I'm going to have quite a few. So usually I'm doing full jars, but you can do more. I'm making a big batch today, and I had these left over back when I couldn't find anything, and I just happened to come across a deli when we had those shortages earlier in the year, and I've got to use them up anyway, so I'm using that to make the sauce. Just pour it all in. These wonderful little tomatoes. They're also so juicy. Again, I've put them on a tray. I've put them in the oven to get the skin off. It just comes off. I'm going to put these juices in as well. I might even need more of those tomatoes, so I might put down the track to put more of those tomatoes in here. It might need some more. Okay. Now, herbs. Do not put basil in this just yet. Think when you are going to make the pasta dishes or whatever you're going to use the sauce in, basil is good to add into a sauce at the last minute to get that aroma and the flavour. When you have it simmering too long, because this is going to be simmering for hours, so usually 4 to 6 hours, sometimes 8 hours I have this sauce going for, just developing those flavours. With the basil, it becomes there's a taste that comes up with that, and it's not a pleasant taste that comes when you put the basil into the sauce it doesn't develop a nice flavour over time. But I've got some oregano, some fresh oregano and some fresh sage, putting that in. I'm also got here some fresh parsley. I'm going to put a lot of parsley in. Okay. And don't forget, some of the vegetables, they're going to have water in it, so it's going to all release to the sauce. If you want the vegetables chopped up finer, by all means you can put it in a food processor and do it that way as well. Today I've wanted my sauce to be a bit chunky today. That's why mine is, and they will soften. I might put actually the rest of this parsley in. Cheese it up. And to add the flavour, I might even put some more tomato puree in this one, because it's going to be a big batch. Sometimes what you can do with the jars is put a bit of water in it, shake to get that leftover juice. So a tiny bit of water in the bottom, shake. Feel like I need another one. So take that lid off and pour it in. So this is more just like a base sauce, and you can add things as you make the recipes, like lasagna, spaghetti bolognese. What else have I used this for? A number of things. It's just so versatile. Okay. Probably will want to add more tomatoes to this later on too. I'm going to put some dried Italian herbs. As much flavour in this sauce as possible. Of course, salt and pepper to season. And salt, pepper, mix that up. That is simply it. That's just how I make my sauce. You will see those roasted peppers and the capsicum and the tomato. That actually what helps bring out the sweetness in this sauce. So you do not have to add, we're always trying to cut out sugar. We don't really need it in our diets. And I try and cut it out. I don't eat as much as I used to. So it is well worth it. And I say this is good for anyone who wants to lose weight, but this sauce is going to taste better than what you buy in a shop. Trust me. So we'll come back. I'm going to leave this in here, I'd say for around 6 to 4 hours, maybe even 8 hours. I'll probably put it on the low heat. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the end result. Okay. See you soon. So that's been simmering, and I have put it on a high heat for about 3 hours, but it's been on a low heat as well first, because I did have to go out, and then I'm back and I turned it up while I'm here. So it has been cooking for around about 6 on a slow cooker, but there I did, as I said, I did turn it up. So let's just have a look and see what it looks like. So. Oops. So you can see got all those veggies in there, just goodness, and it's been simmering. So that's just about done. I'll probably let it go for another about maybe half an hour. Then I'll turn it off and let it cool down. Then I'll be putting it in the jars, so I can save it for, but that's all good. My goodness, the sauce, which is very easy as well. Hi, so I've made the sauce. So I actually made quite a lot. So it made one big jar, which I'm going to put in the freezer. And then it also made 5 of these small jars with some left over but I'm going to make cannellini afterwards with this sauce. So I basically am going to put these now in the freezer so that I have them on hand to make like pasta dishes, or like I said, lasagna. You could even use it as a salsa as well, with some corn chips or celery sticks or carrot sticks. So it has a lot of uses for this sauce. And as you saw, I didn't add any sugar to it. I didn't add like any, when you buy it from the shop, you've got all those other preservatives in it which don't have it. So it's all natural, quick, easy, and it's something that you can just put in the slow cooker, you know, go about your day and come back at night, and then you've got a pasta sauce. Just cook up some pasta, add some basil to it, some mushrooms, and you know, and you're done. So thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, and I'll see you next time for my next cooking video. So again, if you want me to cook something, please put it in the comment section. Let me know how you went making this sauce as well. If you want any extra tips on how to make it, just write your comments down in the comment section and I will reply to them and get back to you. So till next time, have a great day.